Hi there, it's Madison here, and today I would like to teach you about something called Emotional Freedom Technique, EFT. And what that entails is physically tapping parts of the body that result in the freedom of emotion and processing things such as trauma. And EFT is an incredibly powerful practice that has been re-brought to my attention by my yoga teacher training. And I learned about EFT the first time in a clinical psychology course because of its incredible healing techniques for specifically trauma that people experience in their lives. So EFT combines a lot of different sacred practices and draws on a lot of sacred wisdom, such as Chinese medicine, which talks about meridian energy lines that run through our bodies. And there has actually been a lot of research that has shown that these are real energy lines that run through our body. And that is where acupuncturists place needles for people to heal certain ailments and diseases in their bodies. And EFT actually taps on locations in the body where those energy fields run, which is incredible within itself, that we are able to tap on these parts of our bodies that hold discomfort and trauma to be able to heal and move through it. The other part about EFT is that it is a practice that helps to rewire the brain, and it draws on neuroplasticity, which is this fact that our brains can change. And though we may have really deep neural pathways, you can think of them like a pathway in a forest. There's some really clearly defined pathways in a forest. And if we're so used to just walking down that same path every time we go, it becomes a beaten path. And the same thing is happening in our brains with these neural pathways in the synapses in our brains. And so if we're so used to a particular behavior, a particular way of processing things, especially trauma, our brain and our autopilot is so used to just like taking that route. Oh, I'm triggered, I'm gonna go numb, because that's what helped me in the past to not feel the deep pain that being triggered and being hurt and traumatized causes me. And so that's one method of coping. And there's all kinds of coping mechanisms that people use that aren't the best for their highest and greatest good. And so it can be very helpful to change the neural pathways, hence the word neuroplasticity, thinking of the brain as plastic and malleable and changeable, and it is. We can rewire our brains to use more healthy coping mechanisms that are better serving of the highest and greatest good of oneself and other beings as well, because an important step in healing is feeling. And you may have probably heard the term, we need to feel in order to heal. And so that is one of the more challenging parts of EFT and neural plasticity and changing our ways of coping, because it feels a lot better to most people to numb and avoid rather than to feel hard feelings. And so like one may feel hurt and scared and confused, but their neural pathways used to just getting angry, which anger is a secondary emotion. There's this cool analogy of an anger iceberg, and an iceberg has a small top, and that's anger, and under it is this huge block of ice that has all of these challenging emotions that people don't feel comfortable expressing, or they weren't taught how to identify those emotions. They were taught, oh, I'm sad and scared, I'm angry, I'm so angry, now I'm gonna go get high or do whatever, binge eat, do whatever, watch a movie, do something that just separates from those hard feelings and needing to face them. And so in order to heal, we need to feel. And so that's the more challenging part of EFT, but EFT in itself makes the feeling part a lot more manageable, and it makes the healing process go a lot faster. And so feels an emotion, has an experience, doesn't even need to be in that moment, but to process it and to let it go faster and to move forward and to be able to forgive and forget, EFT is really helpful. And so it is important and helpful to be able to identify the emotions and the hurt and pain that we're feeling so that we can hold space for it and tap through it. And there's also forms of therapy like EMDR, eye movement, I forget what it stands for, but it's basically a form of therapy where you follow with your eyes while kind of living a trauma in a safe place, in a safe setting. It can also be done by doing this kind of movement, and it can also be done by doing EFT. Because what also happens in physical bodies is physical touch, especially from oneself, is pretty much always safe. That tells the body that it is safe. Also, so does allowing the tongue to relax and not be on the roof of the mouth. Give that a try, relaxing the tongue, breathing and touching, tapping. I am safe. I am not in this situation. This is when we're not in a triggering, traumatizing situation. The moment it is after the fact processing the trauma. And so being able to tap and tell the body, I am safe. I forgive myself. I forgive those who hurt me. I am moving forward. I deserve to feel love. I love myself. I am so grateful for this experience. I am so grateful to learn. I am so grateful for my life. I am so grateful for this opportunity to grow and to heal. I am so grateful for the opportunity to feel. So you can see that I'm tapping those specific parts of the body. And so in order to practice this yourself, there are some major points that we tap. And different people do it different ways, so you can kind of do what feels right for you. But it's typically 2 or 3 fingers. And you start here on the karate chop hand. They call it the karate chop point. Here is where we like to start. Breathing deeply as we're doing it, allowing your tongue to relax. Tapping above the eyebrow. Also, you can do it with 2 hands, or you can do it with 1 hand. Next to the eye. Just really soft tapping. Under the eye. Under the nose. Under the chin. On the chin. Under the mouth. And you do 3. Collarbone. Side of the ribs. And you can do it with 2 hands. Doing any of this. You can do 2 hands. 2 hands. 2 hands. 2 hands. 2 hands. Under the rib, after the ribs, is the top of the head. And you can do it with 1 hand. And if you do it with 1 hand, similarly to yoga, it's good to even it out. So like, say I just did that all with my left hand. Now I'm going to do it with my right hand. Or, it's good to even it out. And so you can add phrases and words to the tapping. It can either be retelling a story of painful experience, and validating it in that moment as well. And it could also be affirmations. The specific one that I have been enjoying doing with myself is a forgiveness practice that I learned in my yoga teacher training as well. That was a focus, is a Hawaiian phrase, ho'oponopono, which means I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And so, which is such a powerfully profound practice, so powerfully profound to just hold oneself and say, ho'oponopono, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And this can be done for and to oneself, for and to another person, and all done within the self, which is so beautiful. I particularly have been really benefiting from doing it with myself, and specifically talking to my inner child and healing that relationship, and just talking to her and being like, wow, like, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And then you can add other words like, I'm so sorry that I allowed you to get hurt. It was not my intention. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And you can talk through anything that has been hard, anything that has hurt, anything that you need to process and move through, while simultaneously telling your body on a physical, evolutionary, mammalian level that you are safe. I am safe. I am learning. And I am healing and growing. And I am so sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. And you can also think the words in your mind. And you can also just take really deep breaths and move through it. And it's good to do it for as long as you are able to. The longer the better, always with every practice. And the more frequently you do it, the better. I hope that this is helpful for you in your healing journey, and that you are able to take some time to take care of yourself and find what feels right, and show your body that you are safe, to allow yourself to let go of any pain, hurt, trauma, to heal and move forward. Opposite of what Elsa said when she said, conceal, don't feel. You want to feel in order to heal, so that you can let it go. And that is my little Frozen quote for the day. Let It Go is a great song. I hope that this is helpful for you, I'm so grateful for how helpful that it has been for me, and I wish you all of the best on your healing journey. Namaste.